Alright guys, we're back with more 2001. Wow. Can you believe it? It's almost like we're doing a full franchise playthrough, isn't it? Alright. Now we are on to our final game in the franchise. It is 2010. The adventure game. No, the text adventure. The ultimate text adventure, apparently. Alright, let's boot it up. Sing it. Right, so this is, as the name of the game might imply, a text adventure game. Okay, it doesn't have to be that loud. Operating MGM, program control to visual, camera 985, Coleco. Brilliant. Right, here we go. So this is based on the events of the 2010 film, kind of. I don't know how closely, we'll see. I have to read this giant wall of text. You are a major in the United States Space Corps, crew member of the as yet uncommissioned ship Discovery 2. The vessel slated to journey to Jupiter to investigate the fate of the first Discovery and her crew. Before your ship could make that voyage, however, USS scientists determined that the Discovery's orbit was decaying, that the ship would crash into Io, one of Jupiter's moons, before the Discovery 2 could be ready for space. But here you are, preparing to board the Discovery and ready for the greatest adventure of your life. Having travelled... Choose the ColecoVision special keys. Your life. Having travelled near to the abandoned ship as a guest aboard a Russian exploration vessel, the Leonov, you have reached your destination far earlier than would have been possible aboard the Discovery 2. Before leaving your borrowed space pod, the Misha, and boarding the Discovery, you run a final checklist. Everything seems ready. Most importantly, your spacesuit is fully charged with enough air, water, and power to survive for a long time. Before you floats the Discovery, standing out against the crimson face of Io, as if sculpted from the stuff of the planet. The ship's once blinding white hull is now yellowed by sulfur kicked up from Io, but the sheer beauty of her still takes your breath away. But it is a fragile beauty, doomed to destruction unless you can board and repair her before Io pulls her into its fiery heart. Okay, great. Hello, Cap. Good evening. Happy Thursday. Right, what do we got here? So we can do two things. We can power off and arm the hatch. I don't really know what either of those refers to. So this is good. I'm going to arm the hatch. That appears to have done nothing. Oh, it did something. Hal. Hal, are you there? Hal is not listening to my quests. Okay. Pod hatch disarmed. Power off. Open hatch. Let's leave the pod. Right, there's a lot of stuff here. I don't know what any of this means. In TB, the normal toolbox is a large, lightweight metal box used to carry repair equipment. Okay, let's examine that. Select to use. Dump out the toolbox. Oh, the toolbox have been dropped. We've got an MMT. Item use procedure complete. How's it going? We've only just started. Just finished 2010, the graphic adventure, so now we're doing the text adventure. Yep, good old text adventure. Let's try and get to grips with this. The EDM electronic dynamometer is slightly larger than a transistor radio. It has a meter on the top of it and several wire leads hanging from its front. The various leads are color-coded as to their uses. Okay. I can check the circuit board, I can fix the circuit board, or I can move board from the EDM. There's no board to check. Okay. Right. So this is a toolbox. Do we need the toolbox? I don't know. What is this? Med 2A. Let's have a look. A small lunchbox-sized metal container filled with medicines and bandages. Its distinctive marking, red crosses on the wide sides, make it easy to identify. Okay. Nope. Oh, shut it down. Hang on. Hmm. Right, you load up. Dun, dun. Right, let's try this again. Okay, so disarm the hatch. Power off. Open hatch. Leave pod. Proceed aft in your suit. The Discovery's sulfur-encrusted cone connects the fuel cells and engines with the command module. Despite their incrustation, the damage to the altitude? Is that meant to be? Gents do not seem severe. Okay. That's good. Cylinder of the fuel cell. Okay, how do we repair the fuel cell? Hit by debris caused by ions interruptions allowed. The cell is clearly undamaged. Okay, the surface of the fuel cell is a bit battered, but the cell itself is fine, so that one's fine. Silvery web of the Discovery's huge dish antenna is tarnished by a coat of sulfur dust, but appears unharmed by its years in space. Its base is a rotational mechanism that allows it to lock onto Earth. Okay, what does... I don't know what PLU means. Oh, it's like a torch? Portable light unit. Okay. Right. Gotcha. 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 Cylindrical bulk of has been so battered that its it can now mount a sulfur and dust can hide the rips and tears in its hull. So this one needs to be repaired. Do I want to dump out the toolbox? I don't know if I do, to be honest. Let's keep proceeding aft. The dome mass of the generator housing has been held by serrated braces so that one side is crumbled like a tin can. No other signs of serious damage are visible, however. I guess that's good. Massive reactor's second large part of the ship shows some signs of wear from its constant bombardment of debris. However, this crucial power plant that ionized the fuel providing the ship's propulsion seems to have escaped any functional damage. Right. Exhaust extend outward like 6 metal megaphones. Moving parts of electric components, they have clearly survived IO's attentions, and the impact of countless micrometers without significant damage. The Discovery lies before you from this angle. Damage can barely be seen, the ship looks perfectly ready for the trip home. For instance, thoughts of repairing and questions about the fate of Dave Bowen leave your mind as you admire the malicious beauty of the Discovery. Okay, I should probably not drift too forward away from the Discovery. Okay. Right, okay, so I'm outside. I'm in space. I don't want to be in space. I want to be inside the Discovery. Okay. At the cone. Can't go that way. Okay. Right. This emergency airlock door is an elongated oval dusted pale yellow by oil silver stones. To the right of the door is a manual control mechanism for use in entering the airlock. Use equipment. Open the pod bay doors, Hal. The door is now open. Good. So can we go in? Pod bay door sees directly ahead of you. The original white of the doors and the surrounding hall has been yellowed by our bombardments. Okay, good. From this angle, the Discovery's command module hides the rest of the ship. Its sulfur yellow tint. Okay, I'm moving away from Discovery again. Okay. The sensor. Jupiter gyrates exotically amid veils of red and purple while glowers disapprovingly a fiery orange and blood-red ball of volcanic fury. Dwarfed by that overwhelming presence, the discovery has all but disappeared from sight. No, don't. Oh, I've floated off into space. Turn to get your bearings in relation to the discovery and discover terror grips your heart. The discovery has vanished. You jet forward, retracing the way to the ship, following a circuitous path that succeeds only in wasting fuel. You've lost the discovery, and for the little time left to you, you both float in space like Frank Paul until your power fails and you die. You have failed, Major. It is your fate to join the other men that the discovery has destroyed. Wow. Okay. It's a bit much, don't you think? Alright, let's try this again. It's very difficult to orient yourself here. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Right, here we go again. Disarm hatch. Oh, don't move away from the discovery. Jeez, why is this so difficult? Jeez. Let me just check. Something. Right, while that's loading, let us investigate. The manual. This is Windows 98. Just looks very basic. The only way I could get the emulator to run was to run it in a Windows 98 virtual machine. Very overly complicated. Okay, let's see what we can do here. How's that look? Confidential, eyes only, destroy after reading. Our apologies for the sudden change in your mission schedule. We know you planned on several more weeks in which to prepare for your trip. We had to scrap our original plan. Our latest computer projections indicate that Discovery's orbit is decaying even faster than we had previously thought. Unless you take advantage of the current launch window, you'll never reach her before she crashes into Io. Needless to say, this situation catches us somewhat flat-footed. None of the promised briefing booklets have been completed. We'll send what we can via near-space transmission once you make your launch. For now, though, the attached orders are all we have for you. Please read and destroy. Oh, look at this. Got some nice little things to accompany the game. Its instructions. The United States spaceship Discovery was dispatched to Jupiter with a 5-man crew on board. Crew members Charles Hunter, Victor Kaminsky, and J.R. Kimball were scheduled to make the voyage in hibernation. Crew members David Bowman and Francis Port remained awake in order to monitor ship functions and conduct routine maintenance. Actual ship operation was handled by the HAL 9000 onboard computer. As a result of a still unexplained breakdown of the HAL 9000 computer, crew members Hunter, Kaminsky, Kimball, and Paul died during a transit to Jupiter. Bowman is known to have reached Jupiter alive after disconnecting the HAL 9000, but subsequently abandoned ship. With no further information concerning his fate in US MSA files, lists crew member Bowman as missing, presumed dead. The Discovery is in a decaying orbit around the moon Io. This increased orbital decay is caused in part by sulfur storms and volcanic activity on Io. Unless you can get the ship spaceworthy and out of Io orbit, it will crash to Io's surface within a short time of your anticipated arrival. If this happens, not only the ship itself, but a substantial quantity valuable data gathered by the Discovery would be lost. You must do everything possible to prevent the loss of the Discovery. The condition of Discovery is unknown. Commander Bowman is believed to have sealed the ship before he left. This belief rests on speculation. Even if the ship is sealed, damage from micrometeors during Discovery's 10-year orbit may have been significant, possibly sufficient to rupture the ship's hull. In addition, increasingly close exposure to Io's continuous sulfur storms during recent years may have resulted in considerable damage to the ship's antenna, sensors, and circuitry. So we had a look, and most of the fuel cells seem to be okay. Everything can be repaired, from what we can tell. The current condition of the HAL 9000 onboard computer is unclear. If HAL can be reactivated, his assistance could be invaluable in getting the ship repaired in time to avoid impact on Io. However, the exact means by which Commander Bowman deactivated the computer are not known. Further, since the cause of HAL's breakdown during the previous voyage is not known, reactivation may be a gamble at best. As the man on the spot, you will have to make the decision. The legal status of Discovery is somewhat ambiguous. It is the position of the United States government that the ship is in fact temporarily decommissioned and in a parking orbit. Others, notably the Soviets, have in the past maintained that the ship was abandoned by its crew, and thus a derelict is subject to salvage. Since the Soviets are unfamiliar with US controls and operating systems, they have agreed to cooperate in a joint mission to rescue Discovery. Soviet communications have carefully skirted the issue as to whether your mission is to recommission or salvage the abandoned vessel. Major, this is all we've got for you at this time. More information will follow in the near space transmissions. Good luck. End briefing, destroy after reading. Okay, that didn't really help me that much. What do you get? As you race against time to save the Discovery, you'll earn points for successfully completing various activities. Score will appear on the screen each time you break camp. As you travel around the ship, make a map on a piece of scratch paper. List the map on equipment in their condition in each area. Explore every direction possible and try every option. Right, that requires getting on board the ship. That is the big problem at the moment. We need to figure out how to get on board the ship. Right. Okay. Doomed to destruction unless you can port and repair before I pulls into its fiery heart. So the power is on. Okay. So we turn the power. Right. So I press F5, does that mean if I press power off, is power on now, or is the button saying power on is the action that I'm going to do? I think that's it. So it's currently off. Or is it on? I think it's off. Okay, so if we open the hatch, leave the pod. Okay. Pod by door A looms before you in your small dense. So I go first. Okay. Command module. Just in the middle of the gravitational battle between Jupiter and Io, the Discovery hangs like a small crippled bird in a swinson ready to fly. Why does that die again? Oh, man. It's such a pain. Right. Booted up again. Right. Let's go again. Okay. On the hatch. Power off. Open the hatch. No, I don't have in space. Okay. We're at pod bay door A. Longer that way door is closed. Right, I would like to open the door. At the center. Enter pod. Close the hatch. Power on. You're at pod bay door A. Okay. Arm the hatch. Power off. Power off. Open the hatch. Leave the pod. We're in space. Why am I still in space? Oh my god, this is so... completely impossible to pass. Okay, I found the save menu. That's good. Which one was it? To end. Game being stored. Game stored. Store game. Resume playing. I just want to get inside. How do I get inside? Here we go. Oh, we can command Hal. Open the pod bay doors, Hal. This never goes wrong. The door fails to operate. Hal is not on. Oh, that's a problem. Leave pod. Is on. Door is closed. Brilliant. I would like to open the door. Okay, we close the hatch. Can we? No. Power on. Arm the hatch. Blow the hatch. Pod hatch blown. Okay. Can't close the hatch because we've blown it. Okay. Good. God damn it, dead again. This is very opaque. Jeez. Alright, can I do anything? Cannot. Right, we're going to reset the whole thing. Ugh. Gotta go for the startup every single time. Read more. Okay. Right. Right. It's the image of starboard drifting back from the Discovery blurs the micrometeor scars. No, don't. Oh, you drifted off into space again. Why have you drifted off into space again? Oh, God. There's gotta be an easier way to do this. So I found one solution online, but it doesn't really seem to match up with what I'm doing. Right. Go again. Let's see. I just want to get inside. Right, I've got a map. Just need to figure out where I am in it. If I move forward. Pod bay door A. Okay. So I'm by the sensor pod. Pod B. Pod C. Okay, we're at pod door C. Hal, can you open the door? Can you open the pod bay door, Hal? No, you can't. Okay. Okay. Arm hatch. Power off. Open hatch. Pod bay door B. Can't go that way. Pod bay door C. Pod bay door B. Right. Okay, so C and B are closed. Okay. Enter pod. Close the hatch. Power on. Power off. Open the hatch. Leave the pod. The door is closed. Right. Okay. We may not be able to enter via the pod bay doors. Okay, initiate power. The emergency airlock door is an elongated oval, dusted a pale yellow. Okay. Arm hatch. Power off. Open hatch. Leave pod. Pod bay door C. Pod bay door B. Pod bay door A. Red sensor. Up the cone. We're at the airlock door. Right. Still doesn't make any sense. Hmm. Okay, enter the pod. Close the hatch. Power on the pod. You're at the cone. Okay. We're at the airlock door. Okay, arm the hatch. Power off. Open the hatch. Leave the pod. The door is closed. At the cone. I want to be at the cone. At the airlock door. Bay door C. Door is closed. Door is closed. Turn on possible thing. Item. No items to pick up. I'm missing something here. What am I missing? Arm hatch. Power off. Open hatch. Pod. Okay, so I'm outside the pod. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. You're at the airlock door. cone. How do I open this door? Has to be a way to open this door. Power on. Open door. Leave pod. Right, I can't command HAL if I'm not in the pod. Right. I don't want to be at the cone. Lock door. C. You're at the sensor. Sensor isn't going to help me. We're at the airlock door. Okay. Airlock door is good. This game is way too complicated. Oh, I don't want to be at the cone. Close the door, Hal. No. He's not having it. You're in space. No, I don't want to be in space. Don't do that. You're at the antenna. Okay, where's the antenna? You are thirsty, that's nice, but... Close hatch. Power on. You are tired. Tell me about it. Arm hatch. Open hatch. Hard. No, I don't want to dump the toolbox. Turn on the light. Grab the cone. Grab the sensor. Grab the antenna. I don't want to be at the antenna. Cone. Oh, gasping for air. Yeah, I'm aware. Things are a bit... Power on. On the hatch. I get that I'm gasping for air, that's very nice, but... Right. Accidentally loaded the game. That's fine. Pop board, pop bay door A. Close hatch. Now on. Pod bay board. Pod bay door stays directly ahead of you. That way door is closed. Right. Enter pod. Close hatch. On. This emergency airlock door is an elongated oval. To the right of the door is a manual control mechanism for use in entering the airlock. Okay. That sounds useful. Let's save my game there. Right. Open hatch. Pod. No. See no items to pick up. Okay. You're at the airlock door. Okay. But you can't go that way. On the hatch. Um. You're at the cone. Port. You're at the airlock door. By door C. B. A. You're at the sensor. B. C. Mm. Power off. There's hatch. Hot hatch blown. Power on. No, don't fly off. You're at the antenna. Okay. Don't dump out the toolbox, please. Power on. I can't figure out how to open the door. We did get a note saying there was a control panel on the right to use, but I don't see... There wasn't really a command to use it. That's the problem. Yeah, you're gasping for air. It's because you're messing about trying to open a bleeding door. The emergency airlock door is an elongated oval, dusted a pale yellow by iosulfur storms. To the right of the door is a manual control mechanism for use in entering the airlock. Okay. Power on. Open hatch. Leave pod. Okay. Hmm. Reactor. Exhaust cones. Hmm. Right. Power on. Open hatch. Leave pod. You're at the sensor. Oh, you've floated off. Why is this so difficult? Okay, we're at the start of the game. I'm going to save. I'm going to resume playing. I'm going to follow the solution that I found exactly. So it says power off. Open hatch. Leave pod. Then we go right. We're in space. We go left. We're at the antenna. Go up. We're at the fuel cell. We're at the fuel cell. We're at the cone. Go left. We're at the airlock entrance. Hey, there you go. Look, there's a use equipment thing. Why is it there now? But if you go there with your pod, it's not there. I don't understand. Oh, God, why? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, hang on. We need to work this out. We need to understand this. This is important. Restore the game. Resume playing. Okay, switch the power off. Open the hatch. Leave the pod. So where am I now? I don't quite understand where I start. That's not clear. I just want to work out where I start. Open hatch. Leave the pod. Go left. Where does that go? Can't go that way. What do we have to go down? We're at the cone. Right, okay. Cone is just below the pod bays. To the left should be the airlock, to the right should be the sensor node. So if I go left, right, it's okay. It is there. Just for some reason. If you try to come here with your pod, you can't use the control mechanism to enter the airlock. Even if you exit the pod here, you still can't use the equipment for some reason. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, we did it. And it took us like an hour. So let's open the airlock door. The door is now open. Enter the door. There is no light, and you may injure yourself if you proceed. Right. That we can do. Examine item. Select item. Use. Blue is on. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we're going to proceed through the... I'm going to save, actually. Save game. Resume playing. Now we're going to go through the door. You proceed starboarding your suit. The airlock is an oval-shaped room with padded walls. A set of controls is built into the bulkhead near the hull door. The door and its accompanying controls, despite a few dents from micrometeorites, appears to be in good working order. Okay, so we're going to use the equipment. We're going to... Can we just carry on forward? Go. We can't go that way. Right. We go up. At the airlock door. Okay. Why am I outside again? Right, in the airlock room. Air pressure not equal. Okay. So let's use equipment. We're going to close the airlock door. We're at the airlock door. Oh, man. We're at the code. No, I'm outside again. Use equipment. How is it so difficult just to go through a door? This is one of the most overly complicated text adventures I've played. I've played a lot of them. Mostly Robin Hood ones. Right, you proceed pulling your suit. You're at the airlock door. We've opened the airlock door. Okay? I'm going to proceed through the airlock door. You are in the airlock room. Okay. I'm going to consult my map. We are now inside the ship, okay? Everybody got that? Alright, where's the map? Okay, so here is my map. Let me show you. Can't see that very well, but let's just zoom in a bit. Here we go, look. Here's the map. We are at the airlock. We are there, see? We've made it inside. So, apparently, if we go right, we should end up in the repair locker. Let's try that. Let's see if that works. No, we can't go that way. Air pressure not equal. Okay. Close airlock door. Okay. Open airlock door. You're at the airlock door. No, you've left Discovery. No. Oh, you idiot. Store game. Soon playing. Blue is on. Use equipment. Open the airlock door. Door is now open. Okay, here we go, here we go. Alright, okay. Can't go that way. Can't go that way. Don't want to go that way though. We're in the airlock room. Okay. Use equipment. Close the airlock door. Now closed. Made it. So we close the airlock door. We've equalized the air pressure or atmosphere, whatever. That's good. I'm going to save. The center of this crowded repair station is dominated by a large multi-purpose repair machine. Facing the machine is a bank of built-in manual generator controls. A number of small tools and bags of supplies are bracketed to the bulkhead. Okay. Sure. Use equipment, what does that mean? Okay, what have we got? Connect the battery, disconnect the battery, turn on emergency lights, turn off emergency lights, turn on auxiliary generators. What if we turn on the auxiliary generators? The auxiliary power generator fails to activate. Right. We turn on the emergency lights, perhaps. Cannot turn on emergency lights. Right, we can't do much. Yes, there's still no lights. Okay. But we are inside. That's good. Okay. Right, so now we can dump the toolbox. We can drop the toolbox itself. Pick up item. Oh god. Okay. There's quite a lot of stuff here. So we need... No, we don't need the TB, that's the toolbox. I've got STB, EDM. What is all this stuff? Where's an STB? Special toolbox. that prevents damage to its contents from magnetic flux or radiation when outside the ship. Okay, that sounds pretty useful. So if we need to take tools outside to repair... Okay. Okay. Interesting. What's this? It's an MMT. Multi-purpose mechanical tools is cylinder 15 centimeters in length with a head at either end. One end is well weighted with the haft. And the haft is file-like. A brush attachment can be used on either of the torqueless ratchet ends of the device. Right, so it's a multi-tool. Okay, right. You can attach things, attach different heads to the ends. Right, okay. We're learning. Med2A is a medkit. What's an EDM? Electronic diagnostimeter is slightly larger than transition radio. Right, we can use that to do diagnostics on electrics. Okay. Let's pick up the WLT. Welding laser torch is a handheld unit about 1/2 meter long. The last 12 centimeters are made of a clear plastic while the haft is metal. Has the button to activate the laser beam that flashes from the clear end. It runs on a rechargeable battery. Okay. So, welding. Okay. Welding is good. Got 2 fuses. Got a CCP. Whatever that is. Let's have a look. Connector contact polishers. A 12 centimeter long battery operated tool designed for use in polishing the contact points on all electrical connections to ensure uninterrupted flow of current. Right. So that's just to restore connections. Okay. Simple. MMT was the multi-purpose tool. Okay. Fuses are kind of obvious. Plate. What's this about? A large 3 centimeter thick sheet of metal is composed of the same super light alloy used to form the Discovery's hull. Okay, so we use that to repair the hull. Right. Any holes in the hull, we'll use that. Okay. Makes sense. So avoid wasting time. Let's restore the game. Out the toolbox. So we kind of, if we use this room to store all our items, that seems to be a good idea. There's already a load of stuff here. So I'm going to get rid of this toolbox. Right, then save again. Game being stored. Game stored. Resume playing. Right, now in theory, I'll just look at my map. Where is it? Yeah, we should be able to explore the interior. So we're in the repair locker. Okay. Okie dokie. It's fine. We can do this. This is doable. Okay, so let's head down. The white plastic and chrome water recycler occupies the center of the room. Its web of tubular branches leads to all of the surrounding bulkheads. Video monitor is mounted on the wall. Right. Are there any items here? No. Equipment. Turn on equipment? Major, the water recycler is not working. Right, okay. The life support station is all white except for the large black console with its built-in monitor and banks of controls in the center of the room. The air recycler is set into the wall facing the console. Everything appears to be in working order. Okay, are there any items? No. Alright, what we got? Change filters. Purge atmosphere. Repressurizing the ship sounds good. Did that work? No, I pressed the wrong button. Let's see. Sensors show air pressure low. Right, if there's a hole in the hull, that won't actually be any good, will it? Okay, right. Purge atmosphere. I don't see why that would be any useful. Open access panel. Let's try that. Access panel to the filters is now open. Change filters. Filters are now changed. Good. What happens if I purge the atmosphere? Compartments have no atmosphere, you're now in a vacuum. Don't know if I should have done that. I feel like purging the atmosphere was not a good idea. Okay. Right, all the crap's on the floor. This stretch of padding corridors has extremely heavy use. Vinyl padding is torn in one spot, revealing the metallic sheen of the bulkhead underneath. In addition to the two hatches in this section, one leading forward and the other aft, there's an access panel in the bulkhead opposite the ladder. Right. This hop corridor goes no lower than this section. A small amount of trash floating in the corridor does not block access to either of the nearby hatches, one leaning forward, the other aft. Proceed aft. Zero gravity bins in the cramped parts locker are labelled for content, many are still sealed. There is a wealth of spare parts crammed into the room, probably enough to repair any conceivable damage to the ship. That's good. Oh yeah, okay. Jeez. Like, it's just so much stuff. Jeez, and there's nothing in the instruction manual that tells you what all this stuff does. I'm not going to go through all these and look at what they do. This is ridiculous. There's no need for it to be this complicated. Okay, we know where the parts are. And we know where the repair locker is. Zero gravity bins inside the food locker. Okay, we're in the food locker. Several food packages appear discolored by mold, which has probably contributed to the foulness of the air, but most of the food appears edible. Okay, well, let's pick up some food. Examine item. A small foil lozenge, only a hand's breadth across, contains sufficient freeze-dried food to provide an active man with a satisfying meal. Twisting the key set into the bottom of the lozenge causes the chemical heating pack to heat the contents, while exposure to water causes the pack to expand to the size of a dinner plate. Okay, we can heat the food pack. Don't need to do that at the moment, but we'll pick up some food. In the hub. Alright. This subsection shows the most evidence of wear and use during the Discovery's voyage. The white vinyl padding is soiled near the access hatches and paint is chipped away from the blackened metal panels. There is two hatches, one leaping forward, the other going aft. Let's go forward. This suit locker is intact and until now has obviously not been opened since the Discovery left on its first journey. The name of J.R. Kimball, another doomed member of Discovery's crew, graces the door. Right. Any items here? There's more stuff. What is a JW? PCW3? Portable water canteen is little more than a space-age version of the good old canteen. Its own special features are baffling. In its interior that prevents water movement to allow astronauts to operate without hindrance in weightless conditions. It's a water flask. Okay. Can we use it? Check the contents. It's empty. Right. Okay. Let's proceed aft. Port, sorry. The white vinyl padding of the hub in this lever is lightly washed with sulfur dust and has collected a small amount of debris across from the ladder. An access panel is set into the corridor wall. There are two hatches here, one leaning forward, going aft. Right. Proceed port. Our padding capped at the upper end. This high up, it is free of debris. A nearby exit hatch gives access forward. This tiny room is the center of HAL's intelligence. Its walls are lined with row upon row of memory boards stored like books on library shelves. The boards are the pieces of HAL's mind that David Bowman was forced to remove at the end of the first voyage. The silence of the room gives it an eerie, tomb-like ambience. Is there anything in here? There's no items. Jeez. Look at all this stuff, man. Like, we could turn HAL on. That doesn't seem like a good idea. Turn HAL off. For next page, press return. Oh god, there's more. Are you kidding me? Mechanic ship hypothalamic module. What happens if I reconnect all of HAL's modules? What if we just go nuclear? Turn HAL on. Seems like a very bad idea. How cannot be turned on? Okay. I'll screw that then. We must need power then. Switch panel. Panel is now open. Reconnect shipped hypothalamic module. Boards in this module are connected. Limbic one. What are all these modules? Like, what do they do? It hasn't explained. This is... I will just follow the walkthrough at some point. This is way too much. There's no instruction about what any of this stuff does, and there's way too many items to look through them all to work out. It's just, oh my god, this is overcomplicated. It does not need to be this complicated. Okay. We're in the hub. See, it only tells you the description of the room you're in the first time you go in. After that, it doesn't. So the game really wants you to make a map as you go, and you add to your map the first time you go into the room, otherwise you're gonna get lost. Right, the Discovery's electronics section is a small closet-sized room full of wiring, conduits, and circuit boards. Okay, so we're in the electronics section. Each board is labelled as to its position and function. A number of signs gives warning about power and safety. The room is clean and does not appear to have been sustained much damage since Dave Bowman left the Discovery. Okay. There's a plate. Is that another? That's probably another whole plate we could use. Okay. Useful. What about the equipment in this room? We switched on the ship hypothalamic module, didn't we? Let's have a look. The Discovery's Alex. Test ship hypothalamic module. Right, gave me a load of beeps. Great. Is that good? I guess. Test HAL hypothalamic module. Right, those two the same. Just try that again. No, those aren't the same set of sequences. Right. I think I get it. I think I get what it's trying to do. So there's 3 different sounds. Okay. Use that. Use the limbic. I think the first one there was an error sound. What about the cerebellum module? Right. So yeah, there's a sequence of sounds. So that sequence of sounds is going to mean something. Maybe one of the sounds is good. Some of the sounds are bad. I honestly don't know. I feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves though. We're in the hub. The empty hibernator cells, huddled together, as if for protection, their plexiglass lids hanging ajar like the mouths of so many dead things. Inside each cell is a black vinyl couch and a group of sensors for monitoring the vital signs of the occupant. Names of the former occupants, Bowman, Poole, Kaminsky, Hunter, and Kimball, are stenciled on the outside of the cells. This open suit locker shows no evidence of use during the voyage to Jupiter. Victor Kaminsky is stenciled in black on the door. You know, this was the name of a crew member on the Discovery's first voyage. V stuff. Oh, that's Victor's stuff. Suit G. Okay. Don't need any of that. The galley area appears clean and undamaged. The food preparation machines are intact, and their buttons and panels show only slight usage from the original voyage of the Discovery. Built-in chairs and dinner table, complete with video monitors for watching messages from Earth or reading vidbooks, are still intact. There's a PWC there. We already have one of those. I can't remember what they do. PWC is water. Right, that's not too much of an issue. The name Charles Hunter is stenciled in black letters on the undamaged door of this locker. Sealed when the Discovery left Earth orbit. The locker has been unopened until now. Alright, that's his stuff. Don't know if that's any use to anyone. Okay. The lounge area is dirty and unkept, but is otherwise unchanged from when the Discovery left Earth orbit. Black vinyl blacks and chairs completely flat. And the sun lamp above is turned off. The wall video monitor appears undamaged. Small cramped toilet shower located at this point in the ship so that it would have the gravity necessary to its functioning appears to be intact. The black plastic shower door looks tight. The smoked plastic door is undamaged. Even the white vinyl padding on the bulkheads is pristine. There are no items in the shower. You'll be glad to hear. This locker shows obvious signs of wear from the long voyage to Jupiter. The name on the open door is David Bowman, the last surviving crewman of Discovery's first voyage. You are thirsty. Anything in David's? There is B stuff. Alright, let's drop that. Let's pick up his stuff. Right, I know I'm thirsty. Can't do anything about that because the water's off. Let's examine. David Bowman's personal effects. The area is littered with Dave Bowman's personal effects. A pair of photos, one of Dave and his brother, and the other of Dave's mother. A watch, long since stopped, a dirty jogging suit. None of that is much use to me. Clearly use drained of power, for God's sake. Oh, it is dark here. Hey, stuff. Well, now I can't do anything because my torch has run out of battery. And I don't know how to charge it. So I'm just going to wander about in the dark. Man. There's way too much to do. Like, I've got to get the water. I can get hungry and thirsty. My only light source can be drained of battery. Like, what am I supposed to do first? There's like a million things to repair. And a million bits of equipment I can use to repair them with. I don't even know where to start. I just don't see what the way forward is here without just following a guide to some degree, which I think I'm just going to have to do next time. Alright, well, we'll leave it there anyway because we are out of time. And yeah, we'll run through the game with a guide next time to try and work out what we're supposed to be doing. Because I ain't getting through this without a guide. This is way too opaque. Like, maybe if the instruction manual gave you a bit more of a guide of what you're supposed to do, but it doesn't. All it says is make a map. Monitor life support status regularly. That's nice, but you know, how do I deal with my life support? How do I get water? Food is obvious. What else? Explore every direction and try every option. Again, that's nice, but it's given me like 20 different bits of equipment. No real way to know what's useful and not, and how do I reactivate HAL, and where's the power? I need power for everything. How do I activate power? Oh man, man. This is rough. This is way too complicated. But we'll figure it out next time. We'll walk through it and we'll try and see how this game actually works. Alright, but we will leave it there for now, and yeah, we'll come back to it next time.